Hey team, one of my superheroes out in Jabiru, who's working towards the 100-kilometre run in the Blue Mountains in a few weeks, has come up with a little bit of heel pain. So specifically, the heel pain right down here. He said that his Achilles and his calf is pretty much okay. So I wanted to offer a couple of solutions for anybody who gets some heel pain or discomfort in their foot and their knees when they're doing a lot of running. There's a couple of things I want you to first focus on. Is when you're running, it's all about short stride length, landing on your forefoot, chin back and down, and nice, smooth, controlled breathing in through your nose, out through your nose as much as possible. Nice and relaxing your shoulders, belly button in, chin tuck will help with that belly button in, and it'll help sort of bring those flexors to stay nice and firm so you can have that slight lean forward, which enables a shorter gait stride, so a shorter length of your stride, which means you can land on your forefoot, engage your foot muscles and your Achilles tendon, your calves a lot better, and go a lot faster. So if you want to increase your speed, you don't increase your stride length, you increase your gait frequency. Back to the heel pain, there's a couple of things. If that heel is locked up and causing some discomfort, generally it's an issue with the actual ankle joints. There's a couple of things that are going to be going on. Your calf soleus, they might be tight, but there's a couple of deeper muscles underneath that soleus which run down over the top and through this ankle joint here. Now when they get quite tight, say from a weak bottom and a weak pelvic floor, which means you then hit the ground with a really bent knee, that's going to put a lot of pressure on those tendons. So spend some time in and through these muscle tissues, particularly down through the lower part. So if you can get 4 fingers, go to your inside ankle bone, your medial malleolus, put 4 fingers on top of that, and then there'll be a spot through there where there's quite a big junction of muscle tissue, and really getting there. The next spot is down through that ankle joint. Even if it isn't sore initially, it will be tight and tender. Now, the final couple of drills. We want to work on some nerves as usual. So the first drill is called a sural nerve glide. So sural is a sensory aspect of the nerve that branches off your femoral nerve, and your sciatic nerve, sorry. So what we want to do with the sural nerve is we have our foot out and we bring our foot up, so pull the toes towards your body. We then drop that foot in. Let me see if I can swing around to this side. So my foot comes up, my foot comes in, and then I lean down over the top of that leg in the good old-fashioned hamstring stretch, except I'm going to really try and pull that ankle in. Now from here, my chin tucks and I fold my spine down, and then I knee pump 10 times for a normal person. If you're an endurance runner, or your joint mapping drills, either double, triple, or quadruple, just because of the amount of impact that those joints take. So we're looking for about 15 plus knee glides. Now, most people should be able to have that knee down there. Post your video of you doing it, and I can guarantee most people are going to be up here trying to do it. Technically, this should be most people. Now I'm really tired at the moment. I've had a big spasm in my back, so I haven't been able to do much in the last few days. And that's me tight. So you should really be working towards getting that pretty nice and even. Now that's the sural nerve glide. The motor nerve glide, so the perineal nerve glide, is this time is we're going to point our toes, we're going to bring our foot in, we then curl those toes under. So it's point, in, curl those toes under. I can guarantee you when you do this, you're going to cramp up in that foot. So point, in, curl, and yeah, I've got a little cramp. Now I did a run yesterday and I've got a little bit of bursitis pain as well. So I've got to spend some time loosening up that tissue. I've got to do some more joint mapping, and I've got to work on these motor nerves. Now you can see when I come down through here, I cramp, and I don't normally cramp, which is kind of indicative of why I had that burst of pain yesterday on my little jog, and it's a slow jog. So point, in, curl. If that cramps, shake it out and repeat that 4 or 5 times until you can eventually get it in without cramping. And then again repeat, so down, in, head down, knee pump drill, 10 times for the average person, right up to 30, 40 times if you're an endurance runner. Now that's just localized. We then go higher up in the chain, and there's a few things that we want to do higher up, and one is in particular a good old hip flexor nerve glide. So that's not a nerve stretch, and that's not really doing anything for you, unfortunately. Toes under in a track start, belly button in as far as you can and hold. I then pelvic thrust, hold that in there, belly button in tight, pelvic thrust in tight, and I squeeze my bottom as hard as I can. Now, put your hand on your bottom, slap your bottom so you're getting sensory input up into your brain, hand on your tailbone, and now I'm very flexible at the moment, and I'm going to get a couple of inches gliding. If you're getting further than that, you're not squeezing hard enough. So it's a full body squeeze. It should be very uncomfortable. It should require quite a bit of effort. Now, try those ones. Release a couple of those foot and lower leg muscles. Release around the ankle joint. Do your joint mapping. Very important to do the nerve glides, the sural and the motor, then a hip flexor nerve glide, and just then let it settle down a little bit. You will find with bursitis, because it's a friction pad, so it allows tendons to flick over it. When it gets inflamed, it'll stay inflamed for a little bit, but you can still work around it. What I have found to be beneficial for some of this is one of those vibration tectonic plates. So the home vibrating plates, as dodgy as they appear on TV, they do have some uses and are actually pretty good for some of these things, and it will help stimulate some of the spinal tracts by doing it. So try that, let me know how you go. Please post videos of you doing your sural and motor nerves so we can discuss how tight you are, and we'll try and catch up shortly. Thanks guys.